8.5, solving rational equations. Here are the first two. A rational equation is just when we have fractions with an x in the bottom or a variable in the bottom. So what we need to do is we need to find the LCD. Your LCD is the same thing as your LCM, it's just looking at the bottom numbers. Okay, so this one, our two bottom numbers are 3 and x, they're not alike. So our LCD is 3 and x. Okay, so now you're going to multiply by the missing piece, just like we did the other day. So this one has a 3, but it is missing the x. So I'm going to take and do so just the top. So that now says 10x, okay? And then equals, this one needs the 3, right? So 12, and this one needs both pieces, there's only one down here, so times 3x. Okay, so that is plus 6x. And all of this is over your LCD still. Okay, now once the bottoms are the same, set tops equal, or your numerators. So we're going to have 10x, so this kind of just basically crosses out, equals 12 plus 6x. Step 4 is to solve. So if I minus my 6x because I want to get the x's together, I have 4x equals 12. If I divide by 4, that means x equals 3. So we need to get this bottom the same on both sides once that happens. So the tops equal and solve. Let's try B. Let's find our LCD again. Our bottoms, I've got a 4 and a 4, so that's just one 4 because I don't repeat it. And the x. So if I do my missing piece, there is an x. So I've got that x, I need that 4. Times 4. Now I have a 4, so I need the x. I have a 4, so I need the x. So I'm going to have 6 times 4 is 24, plus 5 times x is 5x. This is all over that 4x that we just had right here, equals, that's negative 7x over the 4x. My two bottoms are the same, denominators are the same, so I'm going to set the tops. The numerators equal 24 plus 5x equals negative 7x. And solve for x. So I'm going to move this 5 over here because they both have an x and the 24 doesn't. So 24 equals negative 7x minus 5x is negative 12x. I need to divide by my negative 12. So x equals negative 2. C. Same thing. Find the LCD. In this case, there is only one denominator, and that's the x right here. So I need to take everything that doesn't have an x times x. That doesn't have a bottom x, so it needs another x on top. That does, so we're good. This one doesn't, so it needs an x on top. So x times x is x squared. We didn't multiply that by anything, so plus 8 equals, and 6 times x is 6x. And the bottom of each of these is x. So the bottoms are the same, so set the tops equal. So x squared plus 8 equals 6x. Now if you remember, when I have a squared, we need to move everything to one side and factor. So this is when you've got the squared. So if you see an x squared. So I need to minus my 6x. X squared, put it in order, so negative 6x plus 8. Now this is 0 over here. To factor, because this is a 1, I look at my back number. 8 is the 1 and 8, 2 and 4. Use 2 and 4, both negative, to make that negative 6. Now I have to remember to set this piece equal to 0 and this piece equal to 0. And solve. So if I plus 2, one of my answers is x equals 2. The other answer, if I plus my 4, x equals 4. Same thing here, our LCD. Start with that. There's only one denominator, so x. So this one doesn't have an x in the bottom, so it needs an x. This one does, so it's okay. This one does not, so it needs an x. X times x is x squared over my x. That 6 is good. Minus 1 times x is 1x over the x. So set the tops. X squared equals 6 minus 1x. Now I need to go ahead and move everything to one side. So I need to minus my 6 and add my 1x. So minus my 6 and add my 1x. So this all goes to 0 and 0. So x squared minus 1x, plus 1x, sorry, minus 6 equals 0. That is plus 1x. So my factors of 6 are 1 and 6, 2 and 3. Because of this, 1 needs to be negative, adds to 1, so 3 minus 2. So x minus 2 and x plus 3 equals 0. Set each piece equal to 0, so x minus 2 equals 0, and x plus 3 equals 0, and solve each one. So if I add my 2, x equals 2. Now if I subtract that 3, x equals negative 3. Try this one on your own.